Yeah, Suman, I'm audible and is my screen is visual to you?
Yes, yes, sir, yes, sir.
Okay, thanks for the confirmation. So, this is that a stereotype annotation, and in this stereotype annotations, we have already completed with at the rate component, at the rate service, and at the rate repository. I hope you got the meaning of repository, at the rate repository, where we are using this at the rate repository annotation, isn't it? Component, at the rate component annotation we can use on any Java Pojo classes or any classes. We can use it at the rate component. If we'll use any stereotype annotation over any Java class, what it means, it will with a Spring IOC container that you need to create bean for this class. That's it. How to create, where, what would be the name that Spring IOC container have to consider for this bean, as well as what the values need to assign to that bean, is that we can give instructions to that IOC inside that component class, using which one, at the rate value annotations. And using that at the rate value annotation, we need to provide value equal to that actual content or literal which need to be assigned in that properties, isn't it? That's so far we have seen that too. And then we have gone with that at the rate service annotations, where we have seen already there is no any property for that class, only methods or business logic is there. No any property, nothing, no any variables, only in that service class is there Java. Inside that method is there, which is basically meant for business logic. That's it. And over there we already completed one good example, that arithmetic calculation, and over there we saw that how to sum sum up the array elements, isn't it? Then we saw that usage of at the rate repository annotation, where we are using basically that at the rate repository annotations marks a class as a data access component, means where we actually work on data to be get saved either on current class collection interface, or either in that database, from current application to that either in collection framework or in that database. For that purpose we are using but at the rate repository annotations. We are using this at the rate repository annotations over a Java class that makes that data, and that makes that class as a what data access or DAO layer, you can say that. So far we have seen three annotations: at the rate component, at the rate service, and at the rate repository. Now next remaining annotation is which one? At the rate controller. As the name suggesting, what controller? A class, a Java class who are responsible to control, but what that class have to be controlled. Control means what? That class is responsible to control the request. Which request? User request. What kind of user can do the request? User can do the request for particular request over that HTTP protocol over web browser, isn't it? Using that HTTP protocol only we are making request to the server, and server is accepting that request, and then that server is processing that request. Processing means what? They are checking whether that request is valid or invalid. If that request from the client or customer would be valid, in that case server will process that request over server. After processing, some result will happen, that result will get returned back to the client. So over here at the rate controller we are using over a Java class, and that class we are marking as a controller. That controller class basically meant for handling user request over HTTP protocol. We are very much clear about HTTP protocol request. that we are working on client server architecture, and an application which follows client server architecture is basically meant for what? Web based application, isn't it? So we
Yes.
need to work upon web based application. That existing project only I will make it as a web application, and over there I will create one controller, and I will show you by accessing those endpoints or controller methods over web browser. I will show you just now. I'm not going to make any front end application, no, but that application will be web based application. That's it. From web we can access. I'm not going to define any login page in any admin pane or any home page. No, nothing will be there. Just you follow me. I will in this session of just our aim is what to cover this at the rate controller annotation. That's it. So just wait for a moment. Let me access this one.
Mhm.
This is the previous session which we have covered, and I hope you have gone with that which one interface and different ways of handling those interface by making it type a specific type. Sanu, please make sure that if you are joining the session, keep joining on regular basis. Otherwise, if you will join randomly, you will be facing a lot of issues. There is a chance that you won't get the things which I would be explaining during this period, isn't it? Please make sure that you are joining session on time, regular basis whenever that training session will happen. If you are not interested, then I am not forcing you, but if you are interested, join regular basis such that you can get something from here, isn't it? So on regular basis join, and also follow my instructions which I am sharing in that group, whether you have to work on this assignment, when you have to submit it, whether you have to work on project, when you have to submit those, when you have to prepare your notes, and when you have to submit it. All those you need to follow. Whether when I am giving you that coding assessment, for that you need to work on that and you need to submit. Means you must have to be active, then only this session will be beneficial, will get benefited for you, isn't it? But joining randomly is time killing for you, isn't it? That is going to kill your time if you won't join regular basis, isn't it? So session is continue. We are continuing with that spring code, and so far we have learned a lot. So join regular basis, and you will be getting definitely a lot of skills over here. And this is not a simple training, remember that, because I have already done the training in this earlier. I am also working in the same domain, so there would not be any question on this training, isn't it? Now just so we are going to show you which one. I'm going to show you that at the rate controller annotations which are available in that stereotype annotations. For that, inside this stereotype annotation, where is that? Let me create one another. Just you see over here for Maven. In this Maven project, it is only a Maven project, nothing is there. Means neither it is Hibernate project or a Spring or a Spring Boot. No, according to our requirement we'll prepare this is simple Maven project. What do we mean by Maven project? Maven is a build tool. Remember, Maven is a build tool. Maven is a software which is meant for which is called as what? Build tool, which is basically used to prepare our Java application in a structured format. Maven is a separate software which we need to install on our system. Maven is a build tool. Why it is build tool? Because it is using this we can build our Java application, either a stand-alone application or web-based application or distributed application. Maven is a very powerful tool in Java development. Remember that. Maven is going to give a complete structure to our Java application, either it is console based or web based, no matter at all. For that, it is going to prepare a structured format of our Java application to our Java application. Not only that, it is not going to give that only structure. whole maintenance of that Java application is done by whom? Maven software. Remember that. Now this is a simple Maven project. When you will choose this Maven project, in catalog you need to choose what? Internal. Clear? Then in that below window you need to choose which one? Archetype quick start. Quick start meant for a standalone, not web application. No, if you wish to create web application, you need to scroll down and you need to choose which one? Maven archetype web app. We are going to work with a standalone, so need to choose which one? Quick start. Click on next. Over here, this is what? The place where you are writing this application. This is the place name. Artifact ID is nothing but what? Your application name. Spring STEREO type @controller. Now this is your package name. Package name is what? com.chandan. This is the package name. In when create this application, inside that this package will be there. Inside this package only I am going to create Java class. Now finish this. Remember, this is what simple Maven project. It is not a Spring application. Now I'm going to make this application as a Spring application. How will make it as a Spring application? If you remember earlier days, while working on Hibernate framework, we used to make Maven application as a Hibernate application. How? Using Hibernate core dependency. Hibernate core is there, Hibernate ORM is there, isn't it? So using those, we used to made that project as a Hibernate project. Now to make Maven application as a Spring application, a Spring core application, need to add two dependency. What are those two? A Spring core. Second one is which one? A Spring context. Clear? Now this is done, and we can see where is our application. A stereotype controller. This one, right? This is a simple Maven application. Now I am going to make it which one? A Spring application. How will do that? Need to come over here, Google, and go for which one? Ambient repository. On this ambient repository, I need to choose which one? Two dependency. What are those two dependencies? A Spring core. Any version you can choose, but remember, so a Spring core comma should be getting enrolled in your application. That is our main aim. So this is a Spring boot. This is what? A Spring this is a Spring context. Where is that? A Spring core? A Spring core. This is a Spring core. Let us see that. Why it is not showing a Spring core? Now below there. Choose this one, anyone. Let me choose 7. Copy this, come here and paste it where? pom.xml. Why we are pasting in pom.xml? Because pom.xml is the configuration file for this Maven application. Any changes we will do in this pom.xml will directly reflect to entire package, entire application. So inside that dependency we need to attach it, right? Paste it over here. Then another dependency we need to add. Which one is that? A Spring context. Clear? Wait, a Spring context. Wait, SPRG context. In this Spring context 7.0. Spring context, come here, spring context 7.0.0. now use which one? Control C. Don't Control C, just simply click on that, it will get copied and paste it over here. Now save, Control S, it will add the dependency. You are able to see over here, green tag building, done. Once done, right click on it. So this is but only a Spring core application, right? Now since we need to handle which one, at the rate, we need to use controller. So for that, in that case, what we need to do, we need to attach MVC dependency, Spring MVC dependency, then only at the rate controller annotation we can use, otherwise we can't use at the rate controller. It is available for web application. So Spring MVC or Spring web MVC. Spring Boot also we can use, yes. Just click on it, get copied, right? Come here and this, now paste it where? Here. Control B. Is that done? Yes, this is done. Now next thing is what? We need to create controller, home controller, home. This is the name of that Java application sheet, only name. See over here on top of this we need to use at the rate controller. This is one annotation available, right? Yes. At this moment we need to use request mapping. This is another annotation. Over here we need to give that a value. What is this? I will show you. API. Done. In this controller we need to write method which will handle the request from user. Do you remember GSP and servlet? From GSP login page, after writing credentials, click on login button, right? When we used to click on login button, what was happening inside? That control is getting over servlet, Java servlet, isn't it? In backend, over there we used to catch all those credentials which we used to input over front end, right? After catching over servlet, we used to verify those credentials. After verifying, what we used to do, we used to check it with the database whether that is matching with the database or not. If it is matching, so we used to allow that user that login successfully, and we used to forward it to another page, isn't it? Suppose while verifying those credentials from servlet using JDBC to database, if that credential won't match, in that case what we used to do, over that login page itself we used to display using JSTL that invalid login credential. Means servlet plays a role as a backend, right, for the front end. Yes. So request handler is which one? Servlet. From where we used to request? From front end we were requesting to the server. Which server? Apache Tomcat. But while reaching to that Apache Tomcat, that request must have to be processed over servlet page, right? That servlet page is nothing but what? Server side programming. Servlet used to run over server only, right? Which server? Apache Tomcat. So we are making request from front end, and where request we are getting handled over servlet, isn't it? In the similar way, over here will request from web browser, but where? If will request from browser, that request must have to get processed or not. Yet yes, where it will get processed? It will get processed at this controller. So controller is the front person who is responsible to handle user request or client request from web page. In servlet, who is the front controller to handle those requests? Deployment descriptor, that is web.xml, because over there servlet mapping is there, right?
Yes, yes.
Then after that web.xml, it was getting forwarded to servlet page, right? Over here the front controller is which one? This controller only. Controller, we made it annotation based. So this is the controller, means it will control our request. Will only it control? Yes, it will control. Will it process? Yes, it will process. How it will process and where it will process? It will process. For that we need to make classes, we need to make methods, and that method over here is known as what? Handler. Request handler. Who is request control? Who is responsible to control the request? Controller. Who is responsible to process that request? Request handler. Request handler is the name given to a method. Which method? Let me. Public string over here, get home page. Home page. Return from home page. Now this is only the method, simple method, but we need to make it handler method, request handler. For that we need to use mapping at the rate get mapping. This is another annotation. Get mapping, that's it. That's it, done.
Okay. It will forward that request from home page. Then it will come here, and after that.
But directly can we call it in this spring? No, right? We need to make it a spring boot. Let me do that, because for a spring we required which one? External Apache Tomcat, right? Server. A spring boot, we are having embedded Apache Tomcat server. So let me make it a spring boot instead of a spring MVC. So a spring boot, where is that? Don't worry, don't go inside this deep that what is going internally. Only see for that usage of which one? That is spring boot annotation. That's it. Sorry, is a usage of @controller annotation. That's it. Nothing you need to think on that. So let me use anyone among these first. I'm using this 4.0.1. over here, come to this on.xml. over here, Control Shift and B, done. Now it will embed Apache Tomcat server internally. That's it. So we need to make this class, one class we need to make, which will run that application as a Java Spring Boot application. For that, let me create one class, which class, or simply inside this, over there on top of this we can make it use at the rate Spring Boot application, and here we need to provide which one, this below spring application dot run, and this class args, that's it. So control C, come to the down and make it which one, this one, and over here a spring application dot run, and we need to make this app dot class, that args, that's it. Control shift 2. Done, right? Now right click over here and run it as a spring boot application. See, let me check it out. Now spring boot it is running, right?
Yeah, yes, yes.
Now it has started Tomcat. See, did I use any Tomcat? But it has started, right? Means embedded Tomcat server is embedded with this application, that's it. When we use a spring boot starter at dependency, you no need to worry on this because it's a very advanced part. Only this annotation, spring boot starter wave, that's it. And this one we need to, we no need to use this one, that's remove this. Also remove which one, this one also remove this, and done. This is only one application, spring boot starter, that's it. It has started, right? Now we need to use which one, at the rate controller, right? Annotation. For this spring IOC container has already created one bean when they have scanned this controller with which name, home controller. If you wish, you can assign over here the value equal to this one, you can assign to it over here, which one, controller, that's it. Bean, you can give name this one also, no issue at all. Now next thing what we need to check over here on this application, let me rerun it, let me kill this. Now done, right? Let me right click and run it. It has just started, right, on 8080. Now I am going to call this at the rate controller, which method, get method, from where, front end from where, web browser, using this which one, APIs
Select it.
slash, is this correct or incorrect?
API. Yeah, it's correct.
It's correct, okay. So let me come over here and get mapping only,
Localhost
localhost,
8080.
LOCL localhost colon 8080, and then slash API, that's it. It won't give you any value. For that we need to activate this, because a string content we want to display over web page na. For that we need to use one another annotation, at the rate response body, system got response body, that's it, done. Once again terminate this. then again come to which one, main application. Over here right click and again run it. Done, right? Now come to the
Mm-hmm.
come to the web page and hit for the same point. Now see, we got value from home page.
Yeah, yeah.
Which value? This value from home page, Chandan Das. Let us see once again over here, because we have done some changes, so we need to rerun it.
We done. Yeah.
Uh, come to here, Java app, right click and run it. Done, right? Now the same
Yeah.
thing will hit once again. See, from home page, Chandan Das. Got my
Yeah.
point?
Mm-hmm.
So to display this string value over web page in a Spring frame, in a Spring Boot, we need to use which one? @response body. Then only we are able to forward this string value over web page. And this is the get mapping. By default method type is what? Get, right? Do you remember get and post in JSP and
Yeah,
Servlet?
yeah, yeah.
The same
Yeah,
method,
in
same
said do
method.
post inside do post.
Yes, the same method over here, it is also get mapping. What is the type of request?
Okay.
Get mapping. Over here we are having request mapping. This will also work.
Mhm.
Request mapping means what? It will match the request which are coming from client. So what is that request? Slash API. Slash API will be there, then only it will get inside. And after that over here we need to give another endpoint value equal to what? Here we need to give what? Get home. Is that done? Now our URL will be what? http colon double slash
Slash
localhost 8080, then slash
slash
API
API
slash get home.
slash. Yeah.
Yes.
It will like that HTTPS web. That what is that? Web servlet something there is annotation tag.
Now let me click run once again. Done, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now come over here. Will it work? No. Slash API slash
Get
get
home.
home, then only it will work. Now see, address got changed. Localhost colon 8080 slash API slash get home. See,
Mm-hmm.
so this is the use of controller annotation. Over here in this class, what we can get bean name also. For that we can create one another method. Let me make it main class, or simply main, and in this let me have that main method. Finish it out. Let me terminate this, and this don't require any server to get executed. And over here what? Annotation annotation config application context IOC equal to new annotation config application context, and over here class base package we need to give Chandan. That's it. And then from this IOC ask get bean, and over here give the bean name. What is the bean name? If you can come to the controller, I have given over here bean name is written controller bean main controller bean, then dot home controllerr dot class colon 1 assign bean, then this bean control C copy control B dot uh, is there any method for this? Get home page is there na, can we call it over here? Will it be printing that? Not, it won't be printing. Let us see, it will give us the value, right? Let us
Yeah, yeah,
assign this,
it will give us value.
or either you assign this or directly we can
Hmm.
paste it. This is the method call, right?
Mm-hmm.
Directly we can call it inside this system.out.println. Done. Over here it will be giving us the bean as well as it will be printing the value. It won't work on that server. It's simply a simple class, Java main class. It has not given any value, but it is running. See, now it has
Yeah,
given a
that's true.
from
Yeah,
home
yeah.
page Chandan Das. Means what? At the rate controller, if we are using, it is
Mm-hmm.
telling a Spring IOC container that IOC need to create bean for this class. With which name? This name. If you won't give any name, then a Spring IOC container will create a bean with default name in camel case. H small home, then C capital O controller.
Mm-hmm.
And practical example we saw over here, we got the bean
Yeah, yes.
and we got the value over here also.
Mm.
But the main use of this controller is which one? To handle HTTP request. From web browser also we saw this one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's all for today. Is there any question?
Yeah, no, sir. For now.
Thanks for attending the session. I will be sharing this. Do practice at your end. How much you get, don't worry. Just you do practice and you get to know the usage of stereotype annotation. That's it. Whether you got everything or not, no matter. Whenever we'll do practice again and again. Whenever we'll keep ourselves forward direction while in training session. The thing clear to you directly. Don't worry at this moment. But at least most of the things you got over here, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes. Do practice, move ahead. Thank you all. Wish you all the best. And Sanu,
Yeah,
please join on
yeah.
the regular basis if you wish. So, let me.
No, I think Sun is not there. Sun left it.
Sanu, okay, not there. No issue.